becomes hilarious today.
Are we not gonna address this? This is why I love this.
Smooth,
this
right?
is why I love this job and I love this community. You can do whatever the hell you want and it's still gonna sound and be good. Smoke coming out from Tundra, and we can make fun of each other. That's why.
I'm gonna think about this later.
I know you will.
I'm gonna overthink that moment later, and we'll see how I feel in about 45 minutes from now. But no, I look at this draft and I do see a pretty one-sided advantage from Treant Protector and Shadowfiend. I mean, I feel like we've talked about it a lot, right? Like Treant just doesn't lose lane, and when you've got that combined with the Shadowfiend, that seems like, especially this tournament so far, is dominating.
Yeah, you're not winning this lane. Like I don't know what can beat this lane. You're gonna need to probably try to manipulate a little bit. And looking at the items, WS, what a time to be alive. Double Gauntlet, Quelling Blade, and the Little Ringy. They are gonna try to remove all the trees on the side so the Treant Protector can get the angle. We've seen that when they play against Hoodwink as well. Let's see if something similar is gonna be happening in the bottom lane. Yeah, they did remove a good amount of trees as well. Kaori also does have Quelling Blade. This is one of the few times where you will see a team starting with 4 Quelling Blades on Aurora. You are playing against Treant, you are playing against Hoodwink, so you will get that extra bit of oomph coming out from this cheap item.
A little worried about how Kaori's game is going to go on the later we see, because sometimes we've just seen these eggs kind of just get obliterated early on, and if you've got the vision, you have a way to blink to the back. You also have Hoodwink and Shadowfiend. Like, I feel like there definitely are heroes on the side of Tundra that can make sure that this Supernova later in the game is not effective, and I look at all these lanes, and right now, it does feel as though Ari and 33 can put some pressure onto these heroes down bottom, too. But they'll get their pull with 33 on this Centaur. He's got the full mascot set.
Yeah, like you need to remove the head. Like this is the like it's a funny looking set, but it looks so much funnier when you remove the headpiece.
How do you think the lanes are shaping up? Because to me, it does feel like if we're already saying top is one, then you got to try and salvage mid and bottom for Aurora. And is that possible with the matchups they have going on?
I'm looking at the mid lane. Like throughout Dota history, this matchup was in favor of Queen of Pain. And nowadays, like, things have changed because you are getting Scream of Pain level 1, which means you want to be securing that range creep. And then once you get to level 3, you start to put like 2 points in Shadow Strike. For now, BZM is not putting any points in, still saving things up. Kaori
in some trouble, throw some Fire Spirits out. Icarus Dive, now the turnaround
what a
going
turnaround
for Ari.
play.
V-Tune's gonna show up, but he's not even needed. Kaori getting that first blood, baits in Ari and ends up getting the kill. Really well done there.
That was so close for him to die, and then he lands a Fire Spirit, he pops the Fairy Fire, and then uses Dive. Ari, not expecting this kind of a move. Like, Ari even starting with the Orb of Blight, having that extra bit of damage.
Right.
But it was not enough.
Top lane, WS just gonna try and farm as much as he can, but they'll go over to the Lotuses, and this should be a Lotus for the side of Tundra, and it will be. You can see already Parker just kind of having a free game to farm. There's not much that should really disrupt him, and even if there is, you've got the Living Armor, you have the Leech Seed. For the most part, you're feeling relatively safe. So Aurora kind of have to make the best of what they can out of this lane, and I think WS, we've talked about the Largo too, where you're kind of online with this Aghanim Scepter, but is that going to feel like enough for Aurora?
This hero just loves to farm until he gets his Aghanim Scepter. That's about it. That's how everybody plays it from the off lane. Get those Tranquil Boots up. This has been the new meta from the off lane. So you have the region, just don't get hit, and then get Phase Boots, continue to get your Soul Ring, you continue to farm up, get some stacks going in the triangle. Other than that, you're not going to be showing in fights.
Yeah, I'm doing a Tranquil's watch on my screen outside of the production to see if he ends up getting hit on this this Largo. Falcon Blade, faster than the previous record. Icarus Dive into the Bushwhack, and they also land that Hoof Stomp, so they get the kill on a Kaori. And Ari getting credit for that one, a little bit of revenge for him in the bottom lane, and that's where the kills have been coming so far. I mean, truthfully, that's where I could see probably most of the kills coming outside of the other two lanes. Maybe mid if these supports make the rotation. Hoodwink, Shadow Shaman, definitely two heroes that are pretty good at rotating over for, say, that 6-minute rune.
I like how they're trying to put pressure in the top lane, but nothing's actually happening. Parker has 2 Fairy Fire, 9 Magic, 1 charge. The turnaround play is definitely there, and Vtune will grab a kill.
Getting another kill over bottom. This time it goes to Vtune. Getting just kind of caught out of position as, I believe, 33. Yeah, he's sitting with this wave in between the tier 1 and the tier 2 tower, so just a little bit too far forward for this Hoodwink. The catch you lick, sure, it's all right, but it really doesn't do anything to Parker. Whitemon, he's now level 4. He's got himself the 1-1-2 build, 2 in that living armor. Everybody should be pretty safe with this Treant Protector, giving them a bit more life. You can see these supports kind of rotating over towards mid as BZM up against Kaori for the moment, but Ari has shown up and will land this bushwhack. This should be a kill with the Scream, and it will be. So BZM gets some help from Ari. They got a kill over mid. This Phoenix makes the rotation, and now you've got level 6 for this Queen of Pain, and Ari caught between all the trees. Mikoto, he's level 6, has that Vortex to pull in, and a kill of his own as they get the life of the Hoodwink.
Mikoto said something was coming up, so he goes to jungle, gets his level 6, make sure that he doesn't die to this rotation, while Kaori was collecting some of the XP in the mid lane, and BZM
gets the shield rune.
Actually gets it.
Link's on top of it, but now they'll try and chase. He does have the shield rune to pop, and he'll activate it. Whitemon comes over. Mira's going to be here. Kaori's in some trouble. The Nature's Grasp right on top of Kaori, and that's going to be a kill as they try to go for more. So Mira tries to run, has the Shackle, but with the Shadow Strike on him, he's in some trouble, and BZM's going to net himself a double.
Oh, they're trying to make moves with 2 very low damage supports. Like, you need Storm Spirit to be having enough mana to be able to actually deal the damage. Otherwise, there is not going to be as much damage. And now BZM off to a really good start. Level 6, almost level 7 on that Queen of Pain. Mikoto going back to the fountain. He had to walk. And also, some pressure is going to be put on that tower. Nothing too significant, but a little bit of a chip damage. And BZM is keeping the tower alive. By tower, I mean catapult.
We see Whitemon put a sentry down. They'll leave the obs for now, but Whitemon now needs to run from 3 heroes. Not looking likely. Ooh, WS even making the rotation over if he's needed. But eventually Mikoto would get the kill, and they'll take out that obs. They were thinking about maybe cutting across and going for the Shrine. They get the Shrine of their own, as 33 will collect the experience for that one. Mira will grab his.
And now 33 is level 6. Stampede is online, 7.5 minutes. Very good start for Centaur. He's playing into Lifestealer matchup. In the lane, it should be very good for Centaur throughout the game. Like, not as much.
They look to go here on a Parker.
He's steeping on a Centaur. That's an early rotation. Stampede at the ready.
Yeah, Shackles, they were holding down Parker for a second. They just don't have the damage. They'll go after Mira. The Infest in, so saving his life and actually getting the kill on a Parker. They'll take out Kaori, but it's not an equivalent exchange at the moment, and they might even get 33 with Vtune here. The damage is coming out, but they've got themselves the living armor. 33 still surviving, but it feels like the eventual death is inevitable, as another kill there for Vtune nets the double, and Mira now needs to run as Whitemon's coming over. He'll hit that Nature's Grasp for a second. Ari's over in the area, and this will eventually be a kill.
Oh, 33. Stampede used. Also TP used, which means that he needs to walk back to a lane. Unable to do much. The Slick from Largo, causing them some of the issues against the Treant Protector, against Queen of Pain as well. WS, BZM, he wants that kill.
Trying to get him under the tower, but there's really nowhere for him to go, despite the fact that he is under his own tower, and BZM making a rotation now dominating. This is a very good start for the Queen of Pain, and they're even going to put a lot of pressure onto the Tier 1 tower top. Nobody rotating over. They might just get it.
And damage has been done to middle Tier 1 tower, sitting at only 300 HP. So 2 towers that are very open. Bottom, they didn't manage to put that much pressure, considering that they are playing against a Lifestealer, so very difficult hero to be able to push out of the lane. And we can see the building damage. 0, nada on Aurora, while Tundra doing a pretty good job. And we've seen this. I just want to talk about Shadow Fiend's item build.
Hold that thought for a second. Hex and the control on a BZM with the shackle. Can they get this kill onto the Queen of Pain, who's dominating? Good bushwhack onto two. Makoto continuing on to BZM. Sonic Wave to push him back. Makoto doesn't have the mana anymore to continue this chase. Sharpshooter is going to be well off the mark, and they won't get anybody on either side.
A very aggressive move coming out from Tundra into the enemy triangle. There is an observer ward that is cutting things out by Mira in the triangle, but Queen of Pain didn't die. She has dominating streak, uses Sonic Wave defensively. Good thing for Aurora is that VTune is having a blast of a game. Like this twin gate rotation that he did, this is something that you can expect happening when you are playing against Lifestealer. He gets the creep, he goes through the twin gate, and then he makes a rotation. And now again, going in and making sure that he is securing the rune for his team.
He's got a lot of health, but just surrounded here. He'll even overgrowth. The Supernova gets committed. Okay, we're getting credit for that kill on a white mod. My real question here for Aurora is, yeah, VTune's having this great start, but we've seen this before.
We've seen it yesterday when he was playing Shadow.
He was 9-0. And they still failed to capitalize on that and win that game. And, you know, are they going to be able to use this early success from the Lifestealer and then push it into something else? And that's the real question.
It should be easier for him to play the game compared to that Shadowfin game that they did have. There was like not much synergy between him and WS with the Arena and the Requiem. That game 3 from yesterday. But now he's going to be playing with Makoto. Infest Storm Spirit, that's an old school combo. Try to pick off a hero. These heroes are going to be tanky though. Not too much control. Let's say they use Living Armor. They have Stampede to try to run away from the Lifestealer as well. So, in theory, it looks good because they don't have that other jump. Like Shaman, Pre-Blink, Phoenix, Largo. These are not the type of the heroes that can get the jump. Ideally, you would want to be having 3 of those. Because if the heroes are tanky enough, if you can kill them with the Infest Bomb, Ari and BZM trying to make a move onto WS.
Just couldn't quite get there. Makoto then spotting BZM, who blinked on top of him. Ends up ball lightninging out. Things kind of quiet for a little while. Both teams 7 kills to their name. We're edging closer to that 14-minute mark, so we'll probably see some aggressive plays for the Shrine if we continue to see Tundra's positioning be the way it has been for the last few minutes or so. I gotta find a way to kind of shut down BZM, who's on this pretty successful start, and it's gonna be a Blink Dagger that they want on the Shadow Shaman, who's caught here with the Sharpshooter Bushwhack combo, and BZM getting that screen to get another kill to put him on a mega kill streak. And he's also going to refill that bottle and get himself a haste. So they might even make another move to try and find a couple more kills here. And if they can find this Largo and slow down this Ags, I'd be happy to get him to not have that effectiveness that you're looking for with that double song playing ability.
It seems like WS, he is drawing on the minimap, showing exactly where the heroes are, saying that he might need some extra bit of a help. Right now, Makoto's doing the same thing, saying they're playing in our triangle. Once you get Kaya on Queen of Pain, like this hero actually feels good. Pre-Kaya, it just doesn't feel as good. Getting that extra bit of intelligence, getting that spell amp and mana regen amplification on top of that. And he found a good neutral item. He found Chipped West, so that's going to give him extra bit of return damage as well. BZM off to a really good start.
Yeah, so top of the net worth.
Yeah, Panel did talk about Lifestealer and him playing into Treant Protector, because you have Rage, you have potentially later on Manta Style to be able to get out of Overgrowth. 2 BKB piercing tools in this game, that is Treant Protector, Ulti, and Sonic Wave. In terms of control, they don't have that much. So in theory, this looks like a really good Lifestealer game. If he has like 3, maybe 4 items post 30 minutes, it's gonna feel good to play this Lifestealer. And I'm also seeing Shadowfin, something that I wanted to mention, but the fight did occur, is he's going for a bit of a mixed damage. Because this time around, it is Yasha Kaya. You can still transition into damage. This has been also a second popular build compared to, you know, the classic Dragonlance, Mask of Madness, Manta Style, Hurricane Pike. Purely right-click. This one gives you the right-click, but you're also getting like the combo in easier.
Whitemon caught in the trees, and Sunray on him, hexed as well. Eventually, he should burn out. the chicken fingers and the right clicks there. Kaori getting another kill, and Kaori, he's got a decent amount of farm as a support to the point where he's buying first item pipe. And he just lost his courier a moment ago, but trying to commit towards getting this pipe in the 5 position, because it's not, you know, Largo's going for that Ags, and that's not really where he's going with his build. So you can get one of these supports to build this Aura item, you're going to feel way better in these fights.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to see Shadowfin go for the more right-click oriented build, because Centaur is magical, he doesn't deal physical. Queen of Pain does have some pure, mostly magical, and then you have Hoodwink as well. Just magical damage coming out from Hoodwink. That's why I think this pipe is going to be very valuable, and also Shadowfin playing off that. Still, mixed damage, but I would maybe prefer if he went for the right click. You're going to be building at the Hurricane Pike, great against Lifestealer, of course, where you can keep the distance. You can still go for Silver Edge. You're still dealing good amount of damage because Shadowfin right now is just one of the finest creations in the current patch, but overall, we'll see if it pays off.
Speaking of pipes, Centaur just finished his own. And now he'll be looking to get a blink afterwards, so they'll have that initiation with his blink. But they do have, you know, obviously the built-in blink of the Queen of Pain. Maybe you could scurry and get a Bushwhack start in their fights, but having that extra layer of initiation is going to be pretty good here for Tundra as they try to jump maybe the back line, get on top of this Shadow Shaman or Kaori to start off some of these fights.
Yeah, Centaur's fight ready. Like with one item, if we don't count in Helm of the Dominator, which is his farming item, I want to be taking that fight.
Okay, and that Sonic Wave.
Zoning one.
Yeah, they'll still get the kill here, but now Makoto comes in and they'll use that overgrowth to start it off, Bushwhack to follow it up, and Makoto's down to about half health, but they want to get the kill on a White Mom, the Sunray, the Icarus dive, the Supernova even committed again to kill off this Treant Protector. Ears buzzing, but Sonic Wave not the best landing spell at that moment. However, now with Supernova down, the Bushwhack connects, and they'll get this kill on a Kaori. Ari's got credit for that one. It's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Tundra. And it ended up working out for them, despite the fact that it was that zoning Sonic Wave.
They do lack a little bit of control. Pre-blink on Centaur, it gets difficult. It's mostly Bushwhack, Overgrowth, but other than that, they didn't have much. And now, into the Roche Pit they go. This is the power of Centaur. He gets his early aura, whether that's Crimson Guard, whether that's Pipe relatively early on. And then you want to group up, you want to go as 5. Parker, ulti ready. That's level 2 Requiem. Yashikaya, very speedy. Searing Signet as well. Let's see how they're going to approach this one. We tune now with Radiance and even great healing Lotus. Extra 400 HP could come in very handy.
Very fast Aghanim Scepter here from Largo. We've seen some variations on the build. Some smaller items before the Aghanim Scepter, but committing just phase boots with the disassembled Tranquils, Soul Ring in the Ags, and gets it at a very decent timing.
Hobbs plays behind the tower. Mira, no Blink Dagger yet.
Now short a couple hundred gold. Treant Protector, by the way, didn't pick up that shard, so he's trying to get the help with the extra vision. Ari gets seen, he's going to be hexed for the moment, but the ball landing back, thinking about the Requiem, the blink in, and Shadow Strike coming through on a Largo. But still no commitment on the Requiem just yet, no Sonic Wave. And both teams kind of disengage from each other. But you can see the line written on the map there by Ari, showing that they want to maybe go towards the top and continue to go for this Roshan attempt. But there is vision around the entire pit from both sides. They've got these trees now with the Eyes of the Forest, getting them some extra information, but there are a couple wards here from the side of Aurora that have got the area pretty well sighted. Arcane Rune over bottom, Whitemon.
Well, they are controlling all the runes for BZM. He's the one picking up most of the runes. Not something Storm Spirit likes to see. His runes taken away. This is probably the best hero in the game that you want to be getting the runes with. And Kaya Sanj completed, going for, thinking about whether he needs a BKB, whether he needs extra bit of a damage with Witchblade.
Kaori taking over bottom. He is so close to this pipe.
That's a big one. I really like that he's also like taking a good amount of farm. He was jungling because not much was happening. your carry didn't need to be afraid of any rotations, so he was fine just jungling for a while, and he also found greedy enchantment, so that's gonna definitely help. Pushing the extra waves, going for extra bit of experience.
Meanwhile, by the way, Largo going Kaya Sanj. That's what he's got on the docket.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Yeah. And he's just really trying to get as much farm as he can. He had a pretty quick ags, but he is sitting here bottom of the cores in the net worth department. See how that ends up lining out as we get deeper into these fights. This pipe's going to be delivered over to Kaori. If either team does in fact want to fight, do Tundra want to set up to maybe fight and then go back into this Roche? Because they were trying to get it, but have stopped that attempt to the objective, as now Centaur's picked up the Blink Dagger, and that might be the initiation they want to work with.
Yeah, they want to pull off the combo now. It's going to be much easier. This is the hero that Parker needs to be able to get the Requiem, and he also does have Shadow Blade of his own. Both teams coming in. First time we're going to see that in Fast Bomb. Mikoto smoked up, ready to go.
They also now have this Blink Dagger on Mira, so he has that extra bit of help where he can blink in Hex and have the shackles to keep control of these heroes on Tundra. Faster than the average blink. More control picked up for Tundra with the Rod of Atos for Ahri. And they have found this Tormentor all alone. These heroes not really here for Tundra, so they'll take it themselves and get themselves a shard. And that will be a shard for Mira. Tundra obviously know with that information, with that coming up on the feed, that they know exactly where the side of Aurora are. As they sit here inside the jungle, Vitun just pushing out the top wave. They've got this living armor on the tier 1 tower, just trying to protect it for now, and they'll commit the Serpent Wards to it. Parker with the Shadow Blade, Rod of Atos, okay. Bushwhack with the WS Largo caught for a second, but no extra commitment. Thinking about the Requiem, it just blows up Vitun onto the tower. They have no Life Stealer. Here comes the chase. Icarus dive away as WS is trying to run. They'll blink forward on BZM. They've got the Overgrowth to lock him down. Bushwhack keeps him steady, and they go to the Sonic Wave to get the kill on a WS. A TP out with the Sunray. They can't catch Kaori, but 2 big kills here for Tundra. All started with the Shadow Blade Parker Requiem.
He did not expect that one. He did not see that one coming. There was no vision whatsoever from their side. Maybe there actually was this Sentry Ward that was placed by Mira. I want to see if this was placed before or after.
I think it was after, if I'm doing the math correctly, like just after. But you know me and my math. It can't be trusted. But that, he just blew him up. Just needed one more right click afterwards. There's no way to react. The rest of the team not close enough to really find an opportunity to even save him in that moment.
Yeah, there are no saves. They have Pipe, maybe Sunray, but damage has been done. And AoE from Requiem was also pretty big. You can easily get clipped. Parker finally doing what he's like doing the best, like back a couple of Wallachias back when he won the tournament with Heroic. He was the one dictating the tempo of the game. He was the driving force. Now, not sure how much of a voice he is as being a stand-in in Tundra, but his performances have been good. Mikoto, a bit low on mana though.
Yeah, he's a bit low on mana going after Ahri all this time, but now they found themselves the stun onto this Queen of Pain, and they get 2. BZM giving up that 6x kill streak. Again, this is all happening while they're trying to go for Roche. So another Roche attempt is kind of fizzled out for Tundra.
Roche now belongs to Aurora.
If they want to commit to it, Vitun is here.
They do have Serpent Wards, but he's very low on mana as well on Mira, and so is Mikoto. Another Requiem.
The Overgrowth, and that's a kill on a Mikoto.
We see a lot of these like split actions happening, but it feels like it's a bit too early. They're not playing together, both of the teams. A couple of uncharacteristic mistakes. Now Vitun is gonna go and try to secure this mid tower.
Blanco stomp on 2. We're gonna deny the tower, can't get that. Vitun gets credit for it. 33 now caught with the shackle, but has to stop the shackles because there was a bushwhack coming in from Ahri. Sharpshooter lands on a Kaori. One right click almost taking Kaori down to a quarter health.
Radiant's top tower is under
Smoke used by Tundra. They want to follow this up, potentially get another pick off. That could lead to them going for Roche. They've got a gem on VTune, so these Requiem plays aren't going to be so easy anymore. With Aurora toast into the bushwhack, pipe's not going to matter. They get the kill on a Kaori. Parker getting that one. And another kill, so that will be a 40-second death timer on this Phoenix. And Tundra, it does look as though they want to just go in a Roche and try it for the third time.
I think this time around, they are going to be able to get it.
Nobody coming over. I think you're right this time. 65% Dota plus win probability for Aurora. What are driving those numbers at the moment?
Either Largo, either we love Largo because he's the most recent release hero, or it's Storm Spirit plus Lifestealer combination. This has always, this combo has won so many games over the past 20 years of Dota.
I'm always trying to question the algorithm for this win probability. Or if it even changes from patch to patch. Parker just continuing to farm after he picked up that Shadow Blade. He is now looking to finish off the Silver Edge completely. He's got the BKB ready. 9-second BKB for whatever the fight is next. Largo working on his own BKB. Lifestealer, he's going into the Manto like you were talking about. Just try to help him survive as much as possible. And while he's holding onto this gem, he should be safe from Requiems like he saw in that top tier
they
one.
bought them the gem. That's how afraid he's going to be. At least he was. And also a very interesting choice coming up from 33. This is the item that we haven't seen being picked up in a really long time. This item has been changed. That's Heart of Tarask. And you're playing against Lifestealer, but I guess he wants to have as much survivability as possible. So if he doesn't get bursted, Lifestealer is going to deal more damage the more max HP you have, but still. So for now, he's sitting at 3,000 HP. And he's also holding onto a very interesting enchantment. He's going for Greedy, because you can farm with Double Edge and your Retaliator. You don't necessarily need to right-click.
And he's got the heart completed. There is a 5-man smoke behind him. Not sure if he's aware of that, but they do see a courier coming over, so they're going to follow that all the way over to this Dream Protector. They'll dust immediately. They'll find Whitemon. They're going to get this kill. Can they find a +1 on anything? Ball Lightning looking even deeper and trying to find 33. He's got this heart. He's not going to be an easy kill to get. But with Parker around the corner, they're now going to dust. They'll look for the Requiem, but the Frog Stomp stops that. Now he can't get it off because it's continuing to just stop him from getting that ult away. They found him. They'll hex him up. Parker's dead, trying to save 33, and now 33 is alone, and 33 has been subtracted from the fight, and he equals 60 seconds dead.
He did have BKB on Shadowfin if he wanted to pop it to try to get that kill on Storm Spirit so he doesn't get mini-stunned. This is one of those... I've even seen a lane with Clockwork and Largo. And then they trap you inside and you literally cannot use any of the abilities. They are taking out Whitemon every single time, which is a good target to go for, which means no Overgrowth, no Living Armor is going to be used in a fight. And then 33 baiting, and Shadowfiend, he's right here, has BKB available, and then he gets Frog Stomp, doesn't use it.
Yeah, dusted, and they were fully aware. They also have the gem, so it doesn't really matter. VTune's up, moving forward, and they get the kill in a 33, and Tundra let this net worth lead slipping a little bit. Shrine active in 9 seconds. Makoto infested again, looking to make that jump, make that play. He's got a 9-second BKB ready to go.
Yeah, I think it's the correct choice. Rather than going for Witchblade, you just want to have that extra bit of protection so that you don't get blown up. And especially if you're going to be jumping in with the Lifestealer, which means you need some kind of protection. And for the last couple of times, they are the ones controlling the runes for Storm Spirit, finally.
This time just an illusion rune, though. But any rune is better than no rune, though. I'd say okay. We sit back here even now. Tundra looking for their turn with a smoke play. Stampede gets committed as they will find WS and get a kill onto the Largo. Put his guitar on the shelf for 60. And they've picked up another smoke. Like, they want to continue with this Aegis for 40 seconds and maybe go for another kill. You can see the net worth differences between these cores is pretty significant. A lot of that gold being made back up by the supports of Aurora. However, it does feel like Aurora are the ones getting the better of the trades in the moment.
For sure. And their pickup game is slightly better. See if they can find something here. They can. White one more time.
All of that happening. Parker trying to Requiem and does finally get it off. He'll TP out and escape. Parker really trying his hardest to have a BKB in his inventory and not use it. But that was a little bit dangerous. He got to about half health, finally gets the Requiem off, and that's what allows him to TP out in that moment. But no BKB, you're leaving yourself very vulnerable.
Yeah, Parker is a high-risk, high-reward player. A lot of the times, like, you can make compilation of his plays. You can make, like, 10-minute compilation from one game, and in some game you can make the same amount of time, like, compilation of his fails, because he's like... he reminds me a lot about maybe some, like, old-school Chinese players that, you know, high-risk, high-reward.
Sylar?
Sylar, yeah, definitely.
Ball lightning infest popping. They're going to jump in with a hoof stomp to try to get the kill in there. BZM. Sonic Wave hits on 3. Jump in from Whitemon. Overgrowth to follow it up. V-Tune's in some trouble. They get the kill in him here. They're going to take out the Shadow Shaman. Sharpshooter lands. Supernova gets used, but they've already lost the Life Stealer. They're going to pop the egg and look for more. WS on the run, the gem on the deck. They get the kill into BZM with the BKB being popped by Makoto to get that kill. He's going to TP out towards the north end of the map. They don't get the kill on a Largo. They look for the hoof stomp, but don't quite grab it. But now they've got the gem on Ari.
That's big. This is pretty massive. Being able to take away that gem, it will make Parker's life much easier. And this is the fight without Requiem as well. Very good initiation coming up from 33. And Parker did
Blink Overgrowth as well.
Yeah, Parker did finally manage to get some right clicks going.
Parker inside the guise of that Shadow Blade as he goes down towards bottom, which is now that Silver Edge.
But he did go for, like, more right-click oriented build as I wanted him to go for. I saw a Blink Dagger being queued up, but Blink Dagger, Shadow Blade, it's a bit more like mix-oriented build where you blink in, you have Yashikaya, allows you to cast that ulti faster, but now he completely swapped. He's going for the right-click oriented build. He knows that he needs to stand his ground, even though he got, I would say, good amount of value out of this Yashikaya. It makes him speedy. It's very good for positioning. It did allow him to get that kill on Lifestealer in the top lane, thanks to Shadow Blade, of course, as well. But yeah, I feel like swapping to purely physical damage now makes complete sense.
See if he can continue to let it rip in these fights, like that fight in the jungle just there. They were able to kill V-Tune pretty much with ease, but now he's looking for his own BKB, so trying to combine the powers of BKB and Rage to survive as long as he can in these fights. Ari also now finishes the Force Staff, immediately queuing up a Hex, but gets caught with these heroes coming bottom from Aurora. And WS will get the kill, and not only that, they pick back up the gem. So being that far out alone with the gem, very risky, and immediately punished for something like that by Aurora. That's going to make Parker's life a little bit more difficult when he's trying to position himself, if he's trying to wait on that BKB. Speaking of which, Parker's being caught. Blink in from BZM. They have the silence on Makoto for a second. They don't get the Serpent Wards around this Shadow Fiend. But do they want more? They Sunray. They've got Makoto moving forward. V-Tune's also here. Lotus Orb going to be activated by 32. They go to the Requiem of the Sonic Wave that lands on a 4 heroes. BKB from Makoto. Enough. There's the Supernova. Parker going to try and hit away of it. 3 shots left. 1 more gets the kill, but he might die himself. They'll lose Parker. Now they've got the stun out of the Queen of Pain. Overgrowth follows it up. They get the kill to BZM. They're going to follow it with a Mira death, but Whitemon falls. 4 heroes down on the side of Tundra. They'll look over at 33. The chase is on from WS. He might get a catch. He look to pull him back and get some damage out from V-Tune. Ari's here to try and help him out. Goes into the Glimmer Cape. They've got him invis for the moment. They do have a gem. It's on Makoto, who doesn't have a lot of mana. The Rod of Atos as well as the Bushwhack thrown over into the WS. Hoof stomp, sharpshooter, double edge. Down goes the Largo, and it ends up being a 4-for-3 trade, and Aurora will bail on the rest of the team.
That Sonic Wave was on 4 of them with Requiem, the pushback as well, but still not enough. Even though they get some kind of a trade in the end, it does feel like if they get the combo off fully with Requiem, with Sonic Wave and Overgrowth, that they're going to be winning those fights. And I like that 33 pick up the shard of his own, which means that he wants to be as tanky as possible. They initiate onto Parker immediately, and BZM faking that ulti, trying to get some more mana out of Mikoto. Popping the pipe, and Requiem wasn't really that close. Like, he saw the opportunity, and then Sonic Wave, it looks good, but the heals coming out, the pipe immediately after, even though they are going to be killing the egg. This is the problem with Shadowfiend. Like, they don't have any other heroes that can hit the egg. Your offlaner is not really the egg hitter. You can bring the whole squad around it or try to disengage with the Stampede. Supports are also pretty bad at it, and Good of Pain's job is also not to hit the egg, so they might need to use Stampede to potentially run away from the egg, try to like have a soft reset and then come back, because this egg is going to cause them a lot of issues in the middle of a fight.
End up getting Largo at the end there, but yeah, this egg and everything that is becoming a big problem, that all stems from the fact that they have the gem back in their pocket, right?
Yeah.
You know, you've got Shadowfiend who's trying to survive with his invisibility, but Makoto's positioning is right to allow V2 to just continue to whack away at this Shadowfiend who's just hitting an egg. So yeah, you get the kill onto the Phoenix, but it's not worth your life.
Definitely not. It's like BKB to kill the egg. And White1 again will die. This combo has been pretty powerful throughout the whole game. Still works after all these years, 2 decades, it still does work. Largo gets thrown out.
No White1, and what was a pretty big lead for Tundra pulled back to about even, and this is going to be Roche this time for the Radiant side. And V2, I assume, or Mikoto, see who takes the Aegis. It will be V2. Have themselves an Aegis. The battle of the stand-ins right now continuing to be a back-and-forth matchup. 4.5 minutes, of course, with this Aegis still left. And another one of those off-lane style items for the Phoenix who picks up the Crimson. So having somebody to kind of replace that Aura builder, as Largo has the Ags BKB, the Kaya Sanjin is building an Aeon Disc to just survive a little bit longer. But you've now given over that job of getting these Aura items to the Phoenix, and Kaori's done a great job of farming them up. He's a position 5 that has almost 12,000 net worth.
He had Greedy Enchantment, Tier 2 and Tier 3 as well, which definitely did help. Also pretty high level, level 16 on him. Trade Protector's also insanely high level, level 18 on him.
Difference being about 4,000 gold in the net worth, but the experience favoring Tree Protector. He's trying to go for the Solar Crest and a 4-staff after getting the Blink Shard as well as the Pavis. Eyes of the Forest, not exactly the best shard when there's a gem on the other side, though, so a lot of that information that you're trying to get is just not going to work out for you. Some of these Blink Overgrowths have been good, but he, you know, it seems like it's always Overgrowth at the cost of his life. And if not, they're finding him around the map trying to get more information. They've caught him a couple times as he is sitting 2-8-15. Sharpshooter doing some decent damage onto the Storm Spirit. Ari's still working on trying to get the Hex, only has 2,100 gold to the point that we've been at thus far, so no pieces of the Scythe of Vice picked up. They use this banner, they get the Tier 3 over bottom, and you're starting to lose your high ground. You have to commit to take these buildings, otherwise the Living Armor will do its job and secure them.
They drop the wards, making sure that the tower is going to die. They still deal some damage to melee barracks. Mikoto is playing on a different side of the map. There is going to be a power rune. Mira pings it out. Amplify damage is ready. Centaur picked up a big item. Aghanim Scepter now completed, so that's going to be another soft reset that they can have. Very good save as well if Shadowfiend gets initiated on. Parker would definitely love to have an extra item in the fight so he can stand his ground, have this like second life with Satanic, but still very far away from it.
See how quickly he can get there. And I guess the question is, how quickly can he get there, and how much are they going to give up for him to commit to this item? BZM and Whitemon showing over bottom. They are 5-man smoked with the 2 minutes left on the Aegis, as this is Aurora looking to really stomp their foot down on the throats of Tundra. But what can they do while Parker farms away from the base? To jump in, the Infestus pop. Whitemon caught again, trying to workhorse and pick him up, but unable to do so. So they will lose the Tree Protector for 60 seconds again. And this bottom center axe, well, they're going to fall. And now you've got the Satanic, but there's not much to fight with when you don't have this Tree Protector. They're going to jump in for more. BKB's going to be popped here by Mirror. They've got the control out of the Queen of Pain. Can they help him out? Looking for the Requiem. Parker throws it out, but it doesn't really do much of anything.
Gone.
BZM's dead. Parker with the BKB. They got the Supernova. The Sunray is on him, but the chase is on to get these kills. Parker is trying to do whatever he can to stay alive, but he'll end up falling to Makoto. Look at the count of 33. 4 heroes, no buyback on Tundra. This is all Aurora.
Best game. They can just close it out. They have Largo's heal, everybody, Sunray heal. Everybody's going to be full HP. They're going to drop down the Serpent Wards. Age is still up and running. 80 seconds, 70 seconds for Centaur.
A lot of time to go for these tier 4s. They are hard to take out at times. They'll have Extreme Protector back in a second, but it probably won't matter with Ari dead. Does have buyback, but now the other tier 4, and they'll call GG. Aurora are going to take game number 1 over Tundra.
It was a very good Lifestealer game to start with. Not just a Lifestealer game in general, but he was also playing with Storm Spirit.
How Aurora is going to try to pull this one off. Medusa versus Anti-Mage with Beakup and Lacoste.
Thank you very much. An 8-minute window. It might be too small a window for some, but we'll see if they can make it work. This Anti-Mage last pick, Lacoste. How you feeling about the game?
Feeling good. They don't have much control. Like, their control is Shadow Shaman, and even on Aurora, the control isn't really there. Ember Spirit fixes a lot of those issues. You have some coming out from Dark Willow, but other than that, I feel like we might be also seeing fights where both teams are clashing, and we're seeing like 1 or 2 kills, and then they just run away because nobody can stun them. This is, I have to agree with Gunnar. It has been like that for a while. This whole matchup, I remember back in the days, Miracle, Bat Chest, him going high ground with Medusa, Butterfly, Mantis style, ready to close out the game. You take the Aegis, and then they can't really fight you. Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to replicate that in this game. Because Largo's also very passive as a hero. WS is going to be taking up some damage.
He'll catch you lick himself, but Blood Grenade now. Just the Hellbear, just doing some damage with the help of this Chen, and they'll just chase him back to his lane. I don't think they're getting this kill by any means, but putting some decent damage onto him is quite nice. This mid matchup now is going to be SF against the Ember, and you know, we were kind of maybe in the beginning thinking SF safe lane, but now we're seeing a mid, and what's the difference here in SF when he goes from safe to mid?
Oh, look at what BZM has queued up. I think this might be actually it. He might actually pick up Guardian Greaves in this game.
He's in trouble. First blood for Parker. That's not who you want to be giving first blood to. And it's a double kill for Parker. He survives with a 19 health. Uh-oh. That's not the 8-minute window gets smaller.
Oof, this is a rough one. He's gonna have such a good timing on that Battle Fury because of the double kill. He basically got extra 500 gold in the laning stage, and you're playing anti-mage, you're laning with Chen, which means that you're gonna have that extra bit of like just Chen is such a strong laner. It secures a lot of the lanes. But to go back to the mid lane, Shadowfin, he loves to play into this matchup against Ember Spirit, and I think if they want to be like making sure that they have enough, if he's going to be going for Guardian Greaves, something that has been picked up on other mid heroes. We're seeing like good amount of Razor from the mid lane, Storm Spirit's picking it up, and now Shadowfiend as well. It allows you to get that earlier timing, especially if you have another Aura buyer. Let's say Doom, he doesn't have anything queued up, but if 33 decides to go for drums, if he decides to go for Crimson, or if he decides to go for Pipe, depending on which direction he wants to go, both items are good. Pipe, most of the damage they have is magical. Crimson is very good against Medusa. And then you have Chen building into another aura, whatever he feels like buying, whether that's going to be a Solar Crest. We'll see how this is going to be played out, because this game just even completely flipped, having this anti-mage, and it seems like they're going to be able to get the kill. This time around they will. Last time in the previous game, Kaori, he was the one making the turnaround play, getting that kill on Ari, getting that first blood, but this time around they do have enough damage.
Get that damage out and shut him down 3-0 in favor of Tundra already, with that double kill happening for Parker. It makes things very weary if you are rooting for Aurora here, or if you're Aurora themselves. VICION has had, I would say, good games for the most part.
Yeah.
And now, you know, didn't win every game, but I feel like he's had solid performances throughout them all.
Yeah,
but he's going to need to pull out something a bit more.
Every time V tune in, he's playing really well.
Is very true, and well, we'll see now as Parker in again onto WS. No mana left for him, and not doing so much damage, but the Shadow Realm strike that comes in from Mira hits Parker quite hard. This lane is shaping up to be quite good for the anti-mage. And Medusa is farming well, though. Can they make this 8-minute window work? Can they find the items necessary to really get it going? And how are we going to see this Ember do as well? They try to go again, but the blink away, the Frog Stomp will be on the creep wave, so they will try to get some CS for WS. But WS is going into these phase boots, will be chased by Parker. The chase is on, the brambles are down. That catches Whitemon, doesn't catch Parker. Parker hitting pretty hard. WS has to be very careful because he's got the help from the Chen, and Whitemon's going to be the one who gets credit for that kill. They'll even go for Mira. They've got Whitemon low as well as Parker, and this is still a kill. It's a double now for the Chen. So both these heroes in this lane have the double, and BZM now finally a kill on the board for Aurora as they get the Shadow Fiend mid.
I mean, this top lane is just a disaster. I'm just thinking how Largo is going to be playing the game against anti-mage. Like, if you have no mana, what do you do? I mean, you're also going to be focusing. You can't play the game without mana, but at least WS getting something done, getting the kill here. Currently sitting at only 14 CS. He's going to need to bring some extra regen because he is very low at the moment.
Just went straight into that Soul Ring, by the way, not even messing around with Tranks. Because I don't think that would work out well for him, disassembling and reassembling the Tranquils in a lane like this.
Especially against anti-mage.
So just right into the phase boots. Brambles out again. Shadow Realm strike thrown over onto Parker.
Once he uses that healing salve in the top lane, does have raindrop power treads, he's going to be good to go. They can play aggressive again. And if you're trying to kill this Hellbear creep, it's insane. First of all, you get 18 attack speed aura, and also you get 120 attack speed if the creep dies.
Yeah, the Death Throw Rush is really nice. And Parker, aware of it, already level 5. Whitemon also already level 4, 6 minutes in. See who comes over towards mid. They've got one on each side. Mira makes the rotation with Kaori. They've got Ari in the vicinity for the side of Tundra, trying to control this first power rune, and we'll see what it ends up being. BZM's going to go that way. Fire Spirits to try and deter them from going in on it. And they're going to Remnant forward, try and make something happen, hitting that level 6. As they've got the Shackles, BZM doing some decent damage, but Makoto's going to be able to survive, gets hexed, and can't live afterwards.
Double
trying
kill
to throw
for Ari,
Remnant down, and that's going to be 2 heroes dead. Under the tower, Mira dies as well.
Solo XP for him. They would definitely love Shadow Fiend to be able to survive, get some XP before he dies, because he is still level 5, and Ember Spirit is level 6.5, but they are putting good amount of pressure in this top lane, securing the lane for Parker, which is what matters the most. And I talked about the auras that they can bring. Doom can also bring another aura. It's just the speed aura for now. Drums, and we're going to be seeing what he's going to be bringing as his first item after Drums. Requiem finally online. He just came back.
Yeah, and he just got back here. He's going to try and get away from this one, but Kaori comes over and gets that kill. They were also trying to go for top at the same time. Mira ends up surviving that. It was the Shadow Shaman of Ari who was invis thanks to picking up that power rune, but was unable to really find a kill up there. And they get the kill out of this Shadow Fiend again. So things kind of settling out for Aurora in a way that looks decent, but they still have this anti-mage issue that they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah, usually your mid is a playmaker. In this game, he's not going to be that. The only way you can start a fight is pretty much if Ari is going to be shackling them, or if you have anti-mage blanking in and then being like very aggressive, because they also have very limited amount of stuns. But Ari is the one who's having an okay time. He is having a lot of experience. He is level 5.5, getting some extra XP in the mid lane as well.
Ulti used by Parker. Not going to kill either of these heroes. The chase was on. You can see Chen just doing so much abusive damage onto WS all by himself, too. It ain't fun to deal with. Get an eye on Ari getting the double stack, or attempting to, and will. So he's trying to stack up for this anti-mage to have success after he picks up this Battle Fury. All said and done, Medusa is top of the net worth with a very decent farm.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Things pretty open for V-Tune over bottom. Makoto has a shield rune in that bottle. Has this urn finally delivered. Arcane Boots now finished for BZM. Like you said, he's going into the Guardian Greaves, then wants a Kaya.
Will need to recover in the jungle. Can't really show up to a mid lane anymore. Kodo continues to farm up, level 8. Only, I mean, Shadowfin did farm some stacks. He's level 7.5 right now.
Dire are scanning.
The game is going to be, I would say, a bit slower, especially between 10 and 15 minutes. It's not going to be as easy to start a fight for both of the teams once the laning stage is over. It needs to be Mikoto, Dark Willow combination to try to set things up. Other than that, the game is pretty difficult to initiate. Both offlaners are not the traditional offlaners, even though we are in Largo meta. The hero is heavily contested, but these are not like traditional Mars, who's going to be blinking in, Centaur with the Blink Dagger to try to start a fight or use a Stampede. It's going to be a lot more slower.
Take one traditional offlaner, please. As they will look to see what this Doom can get done. He's going into the Ring of Tarask. He's got the drums as well as the Tranquils picked up. Parker going to put some pressure on the bottom tier 1. White Mom was farming the jungle up at the top side, taking some of that Radiant farm up there, and he's going to be pushing out or helping to push as well. And now going through that Twin Gate to even get some solo farm up in the top lane while Parker pushes bottom. This will be a tower taken by the side of Tundra, opening up the map a little bit more and shrinking what Medusa can feel comfortable at. At the same time, Aurora are going for the tier 1 mid. Shouldn't be much stopping them either, so both teams kind of content with losing these buildings. And yeah, Medusa's at the top of the net worth, but the differences you could see afterwards between the rest of the team and the rest of Aurora is pretty significant.
It really is. Again, Kaori being on top. He is getting good amount of farm. He's involved in 3 out of 4 kills, continues to farm the jungle. He is the hero specialist, after all. This is probably his most played hero. I just gotta double check that I'm not lying.
Dire are scanning.
This time around, though, not going into that pipe. He's going Holy Locket first.
Yeah, it is his most played hero. 174 matches, sitting at 66% win rate. Holy Locket, yeah, it's a good item. Not so good against Doom, but seems like they just want to have stuff that they can throw onto the heroes. You can like throw it onto the Medusa, which does make a lot of sense.
Anything to keep the Medusa alive, give him a little bit more mana. Anything you can do there, and that Holy Locket.
Yeah, you're losing like the healing part. You're not giving him healed, but at least you're giving him mana, which is still going to be pretty nice.
Looking around, and no Arcane Boots on the side of Aurora. The dive is on, the Supernova is used. Chen is in some trouble. The Catchy look to pull him back and get that kill. They also kill off his courier. 33 is making a rotation. Parker nearby. 4 heroes here for Aurora, but what can they get done? They might just lose Mira. They're looking to maybe think about going for a Doom somewhere else. Ari chasing Makoto, who's using these remnants, but now out of mana, needs to get out of dodge. The blink forward from Parker, the searing chains lock him down, so Makoto's able to get back towards the tier 1 tower. All that at the cost of the Dark Willow, but just the price of the Dark Willow is well worth it. That being said, 33 with a little bit of a chase, but walks into the Frog Stomp and can't catch up to WS.
It's important that they are also relieving pressure from Medusa. There was a twin gate rotation. At least they tried. They killed the tower in the bottom lane with anti-mage. But so far, so good. Again, V-Tune on top of the network.
Medusa, they have the shackles. They should be able to get this kill, and will. V-Tune is dead. Makoto showed up to this, and he has no mana. The Croaker help, but now gets through these Serpent Wards. Makoto's still going to die here to Ahri. It's a Serpent Ward who gets him, and the shackles will lock down the Dark Willow, and that's going to be 3 heroes dying on the side of Aurora.
I just cursed them. I said that they were doing a good job relieving the pressure off Medusa.
He was used on WS as well, and he's dead too.
They need to stay ahead with this type of a lineup with Medusa. You need to have that Manta style. You need to have that Butterfly. And Auras on side of Tundra are starting to pile up. Bongo Boots already finished on 33. This is the item that he really likes to buy. Even yesterday when he was playing Tidehunter, he was buying Bongo Boots as his first item. Just the extra regen allows you to get the farm and have a little bit of a reset in the fight. It doesn't last for too long, but it lasts long enough for you to potentially get out of trouble.
Kaori's dead to White Bomb. The chase is on for 33. The Remnant's forward, but the Hex hits from Ahri. 33 going to be able to survive with 50 health. He runs it all the way out. BZM now trying to help out. Guardian Greaves are used, but Ahri's still in trouble. But Ahri gets behind the trees and survives. Makoto's the one dead instead. 2 heroes with 10 health that get to survive, and down goes the Medusa. Parker with another double.
They missed that window. They actually fell out of that window, if you want to say, because right now they can't really do anything with this lineup anymore. Medusa even deciding to show up in a fight, and it didn't really work out for them. And also the reason why he survived on Doom is he has Windlace, he has Bongo Boots, and he also has my favorite combo enchantment from Tier 1. It is Cobalt Cup plus Quickened Enchantment. I might also be slightly biased over this because my favorite creep in Dota ever since he was added is the Cobalt Cup guy. He just looks too gangster, he looks too funny.
All right, find me a Cobalt Cup guy. There. Wow. Immediately ready. Wow. Taking a sip of their Cobalt Cup. I think we need to change his name in game to Cobalt Cup guy, because that is who he is. Shrine gets stolen by WS. But there is a lot needed here to go right for Aurora. And more so, I would say, wrong for Tundra for Aurora to have a shot in this game.
Yeah, it is very difficult to throw a game like this. Every game is throwable if you try hard enough, but for Tundra, being a super stable team, even with Parker on the team, I'd say this is almost near impossible. Could we check the Dota Plus win probability?
Uh-oh, WS. I don't think he really has a way out of this one. And that is going to be more mana depleted thanks to the Purge here. They're just making sure that they can get this kill and take out this this Largo. 77% doesn't seem high enough. That doesn't seem right?
Yeah, I would say
that seems too low.
Yeah, like if I was being realistic, I would give them like 5%. Always got to include human error in the equation potentially,
or like a disconnect. Well,
yeah,
we're on LAN. I don't know. Maybe if this was online, there'd be the full disconnect. It's a bit of a tough one. They'll go for Roche, Croaker, Centaur creeps all doing their deal. Hellbear Smasher. Ahri's just kind of waiting in the wing. There's certainly no way they get this Aegis, right? I don't want to speak too soon, though, Park.
They want to take
off
that
to the
fight
side.
on side of Tundra. They know that the damage is very slow. Kaori, he does have 25 Holy Locket charges, but no mana, so might be forced to use it on himself.
Parker needs to be a little careful. Roche is pretty low. There's the Doom onto the Medusa. Stone Gaze was used, and then off the site, they've got the Ember going after this Shadow Shaman who might just die. They're going to try and get themselves the Aegis. The Terrorize goes out. Does he have a chance to pick it on the Mana Void?
33
Snatched by
gets it.
33. They got a kill on a V2. Nothing can go right here for Aurora. And that's going to be Kaori
He's
dead.
stuck.
The chase is on for this Dark Willow. Parker just looking, chasing, killing, and getting eventually the kill. And we looked away. I don't know what he was waiting for.
He did not want to attack him. It's the classic Parker move. He knows he can't get out.
Makoto forced to Remnant back.
Radiant's top tower is under
How long did he wait for? He was
Like 5, 6 seconds.
just stared at him.
They know that this game is completely cooked. At this point, you would definitely love to have Medusa have like almost a finished butterfly in the next minute or two, ideally. But he did die 3 times, doesn't have a single kill to his name.
Oof. 0-3-0. And 3K behind the Anti-Mage.
Dire are scanning.
What was that window again?
It was 8-minute window after they,
Between what times?
like once you pick up Butterfly and Vanta style, it was supposed to be an 8-minute window.
Oh, okay.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There, you know, the window is there, but unfortunately, it was like a bird situation when the window's too clean and the bird just smashes into it. Oh, window! Just hits it as hard as possible. Feathers go everywhere.
Yeah, I don't like this window. This is like Windows XP back in the days. It was probably
Go
one
further
of,
back.
yeah,
Windows ME.
one of the worst ones out there. And these auras, they are definitely stacking up right now. 33 still thinking about what he wants to get. For now, it is neutral creep. It is purge that he can dispel a lot of good things in this one. He can dispel Spirit Vessel, Searing Chains, stuff from Dark Willow, Fire Spirits.
It is a good one to be holding on to. 25 charges on Kaori's Holy Locket. He's level 11. He's farming well, I think, comparatively to other supports. But, I mean, that's the only positives I'm kind of drawing conclusions from at the moment.
Are fortified.
Going for that Solar Crest, which, speaking of which, Wayman just picked up his own. You can see where Tundra are playing. I mean, they have all of the map to really just go for. Terrorize lands. Bedlam not really doing a lot. Curse Crown does pop. They are TPing over. WS is here. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. He's not the one who has the Aegis, but he is the one who's able to blink away, and Parker avoids the Supernova. Parker avoids it all, and Tundra don't really get touched by anything that Aurora threw out their way.
They even threw Hand of God, even though he does have Medium Lotus, extra 400 HP on Parker, very difficult to kill. Guardian Greaves as well. That's a good amount of heals coming out, and now they can start to pressure some towers. How's V-Tuna doing? Does have a Claymore.
So what you're saying is it's not looking good.
It's not looking good now. And I wanted 33 to go for Pipe. He did go for Midas to get extra bit of a gold, understanding that this game is kind of secured. So Midas is still fine. With Gluttony, you have 2 extra charges, like 2 charges on Devour. And now with Pipe being almost delivered, that's going to be most of the magic damage gone as well. And they can reset. Again, Aurora, they don't have enough control to choose how the fights are going to be going.
This is similar to when... Oh, hold on then. I'll hold that bad joke as Kaori getting caught and killed off by BZM. Level 16 has the help from Ari. Ari's been doing wonders this game.
I was trying to remember, because it was a time when Shadow Fiend was actually buying mech, but I couldn't figure it out what it was. It was actually when the Hawk played mid, and he was the one buying, I think it was Gambit was the name of the team.
Yeah.
And he was buying mech, and they were going for this like high ground push when the Presence Aura was still on level 15, where they could just group up and end the game.
Beyond Godlike, and Makoto caught Requiem there. They'll get a couple of raises to get the kill on Makoto. They'll take out Mira. That's 4 heroes dead. V-Tune just trying to get any farm he can. But these guys are trying their best, hopping over the gate.
Knows that he can't die. Look at his HP regen, almost 50 regen per second.
Hex, V-Tune, he's been caught. He'll be cut up for the Omakase.
When it's time to call it, it is time to call it.
And there is the call. GG is called 24-6. Just 23 minutes in. Tundra are going to even up the series at 1 apiece. The Medusa does not work against this anti-mage that they let through, and they pay for it quickly. Gratuity included.
Yeah, this one was quick. It just started way too good for Anti-Mage. Double kill, first blood in the top lane.
Thank you very much. Coming into game number 3, Aurora against Tundra. We'll see who comes out on top. We've got Kaori back on that. Phoenix, WS playing the Largo again. A lot of repeats, but then we've got the TA and the Sven as the carry matchup. Lacoste, how you feeling about these two, or honestly the game in general?
I think the Sven's job is just going to be kill everything else, and then they can deal with the Templar Assassin. I think that's the idea. Doom is going to be used on Templar Assassin. Their catch is really not that great. It's Shadow Fiend, it's Chen, and Hoodwink. Hoodwink, if you're not like initiating onto TA with Sven, it means you're not going to be killing her. They don't have any ways of like stopping Sven from going in. There are no BKB piercing abilities. There's going to be quite a lot of auras. Sven's Warcry is going to be pretty insane. It is extra 14 armor, and then you have Chen with the Divine Favor. Once that is maxed out, that's extra 20 armor. A lot of, I would say, hidden impact. Void Spirit damage also is not like the greatest in terms of like how much damage this hero can deal. And I see a little bit of adjustment already coming out from Makoto. In the mid lane, what he has in his quick buy, a lot of the times it is Urn of Shadows, just the brown boots, and then you go for Spirit Vessel. This time around, he is going for Phase Boot. This is unconventional item on Void Spirit, but it does allow you to get extra bit of move speed by like being more maneuverable, and also the armor component against Sven, against Shadow Fiend. It's quite a lot of minus armor between these two. But by armor, I mean minus armor plus the heavy physical damage, so he's already deciding that he's gonna need that throughout the game.
When we get to the mid game, it looks like Aurora is going to have kind of this mobile vision with, of course, the Nyx Assassin going into the Vendetta. You have that long reach of the double Astral Step if you want to use it that way with an Aether Remnant. You know, how are Tundra supposed to deal with that kind of reach? Like, their backlines aren't going to be safe, but it's not like they've got these guys that are really sitting towards the back too much, right? Doom's kind of in your face after he uses Doom. Sven and SF are kind of in your face as well. You know, what's the game plan to go up against that reach that Aurora have?
They're going to have to group up. This is going to be another Aura draft. You're going to be, like, supports, they need to stay close to Warcry so that you have extra bit of armor. You don't get bursted by Templar Assassin. Doom with his Aura, we saw 33 in the previous one, buying, pretty much going to be buying the same items. I guess you are playing against a good amount of magic damage, so Bongo Boots into Midas if he wants to, or straight into Pipe, depending how the game develops. And Chen is, again, going to be bringing extra auras this time around. We'll see if he's going to be going for the same build. Does seem like BZM wants to go for mech from the mid lane, so you will have the same idea, kind of same timing. When Sven hits his timing with like 2-3 big items, his Mask of Madness, Echo Saber, Blink, potentially a BKB, they're going to be fight ready. And this is going to be another potentially, if they can get the ball rolling on side of Tundra, another relatively short game if they can get all these things combined together. And seeing the ways that they've been buying auras, I don't think you can really put that much pressure that you can actually stop them from getting those auras as fast as possible.
So is there a specific window that Aurora are looking for if there's this high aggression that can come from Tundra?
I mean, their vision game is pretty strong. You did mention Nyx Assassin with Vendetta. Void Spirit eventually will get Shard, which is his farming tool, where you can just place it in camps. You have Templar Assassin with Trap, so... Ooh, good body blocks. WS.
WS is in trouble, but the Frog Stomp, not sure that's going to be enough. More body blocks come out, and Parker's got first blood. Really good job there by Whitemon to be using this Hellbear to just get in front of this Largo and make it so he's unable to leave. He's played 2 games, he's won 2 games. The Chen has looked good for him, and it continues to find success, especially here top with the Sven.
Sven in general is not a strong laner by any means. At level 1, you're like very strong because you have a stun. You're paired up with Chen. So I don't think they managed to abuse that lane because your Largo, again, is losing the CS game. You have one of the worst position 4s in the game in terms of the lane presence. That's Nyx Assassin, so you need to pull the lane, which allows Sven to get a complete free farm. He's not going to get contested at all. Mid lane is kind of one, I would say, by default. You are playing a range hero. You're playing Shadowfiend into a melee hero. It's a bit different than the Ember Spirit matchup. He is maxing out, or not maxing out, but he is putting points in the Simulate, trying to get that extra bit of a damage to the creeps, try to get some farm. Keeping up with Shadowfiend almost, but Shadowfiend does have quite a lot of denies.
Mira stepping back to block that camp, and he's pulling this creep wave all the way around. He wants to give WS any opportunity he can to get some farm in this lane. Sits at 10 and 6, brings him a full wave. Bottom lane's been a bit of damage back and forth, but no kills just yet as Ahri and Kaori play this matchup again between the two of them. Kaori all 3 games on this Phoenix.
His most played hero for a good reason. He loves to play it, plays it really well, knows the ins and outs. And Ahri as well, like he's playing Hoodwink. He just enjoys to play that hero. I think both of these players are kind of similar in regard. Ahri definitely expanded his hero pool ever since he joined Tundra, but hero specialist.
Definitely a bit of a hero specialist here with this Hoodwink, and I'm just kind of keeping an eye on Phoenix and what the build is going to be there for him, because Kaori always seems to get his hands on some farm, and he's gone into the pipe previously, or he wants the Holy Locket. He's very good at getting that farm and building something up that the team really needs. So I'll be keeping my eyes there, and we are kind of keeping our eyes on Tranks on 33 if they end up getting mistakenly held in check. But mid lane, Kaori comes over as we're getting closer to that 6-minute mark, looking for the power rune, and they're gonna go for BZM. They have the Icarus dive right on top of him. Great body blocks, bushwhack to simulate. BZM, 1 shot from dead. Kaori gets the kill and will be traded.
This is like watching the previous game as well. They are focusing BZM quite heavily again. BZM doesn't get the XP before he dies. Ahri collects the XP. Last time he got 2 kills out of it. They know that Chen can't really TP rotate. It's not a hero that can do that. It's more about him getting the farm in the jungle, maybe get some stacks going for Sven on the other side of the map, stacking multiple camps at the same time. And there's quite a lot of camps already in the jungle.
Yeah, just trying to get those stacks, get that gold going, and figure out when maybe Parker needs to fall back into the jungle. We hit that 6-minute power rune timing. The next one that's usually up, of course, is that 7-minute shrine. We'll see if they dive for this. With the way that they're pressuring up towards top, it looks like Tundra are in a position where they might want to try and swipe this shrine away from Aurora. They'll have Mira coming back over, but he is only level 2. All he's got is an Impale and a Spike Carapace to really do anything with. So Whitemon's already setting up on this shrine. They've brought over Ahri, who is working with the back ends of an amplified damage, which he loses. Stormhammer on 2. Kaori shows up. Bushwhack pulls him up out of the high ground. BZM's making the rotation over.
Nice 2-man
stun. Lands onto Parker, but BZM behind him. They might get the kill on a Kaori. They take out Ahri. Parker might die first. He ends up surviving with the raises by BZM to get the kill on a Kaori. 8th the Remnant lands. Catchy lick. That's going to be a double kill for Makoto. And the Shrine's picked up by both Vtune and Mira on both ends of the map.
Yeah, Doom couldn't fight him on that other side of the map, but I also like the Tundra that they are bringing in numbers, understanding that this Largo and Nyx Assassin are very weak as a lane, so they almost killed the tower with Chen. BZM is in a lot of trouble.
Avoids the Frog Stomp, but they've got the Impale and the Sunray. Everybody's here to get another kill on a BZM. And Makoto does finally finish off that urn. What's going to be next here? Do you expect just standard builds coming out from everybody, or is there something that you're looking for that might need to be a little bit different from either team to really focus and maybe change it up to get an advantage.
We'll see if he decides to go for like Spirit Vessel. It's a very good damage item on Void Spirit.
Right.
It gives you good stats, which synergizes really well with your innate ability. You can pronounce that word for me, please, Benjamin.
Which one?
Void Spirit's innate ability.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, intrinsic. I got this. I got this. All right, we're good.
So
Intrinsic
if
edge.
you had to like simplify intrinsic, how would you like describe intrinsic, or use it in a sentence?
What is this, the fucking SATs? Like, what am I doing over here?
All right, you failed.
Yeah, I did. I had to go take the ACTs for anybody who understands standardized testing in the U.S.
That's why you're here. You failed the test and you became a Dota caster.
Kept it with the video games instead. Mom, it's a real job. I swear. Yeah, vocabulary is not my... defining vocabulary is not my strong suit. I think I can read a little bit. WS, frog stomping, Triss trying to get some gold out, and he'll catch Glick himself to run away from Parker and Whitemon, who are putting the pressure on.
Dire's top tower.
Mira over in the area, but we've talked about how the laning is not great for Mira. He is getting closer to that level 6. They did take both shrines. 33, he's going to drop to Kaori, who continues to be a nuisance on this Phoenix, 2-2-2. And the first item this time for Phoenix is going to be different than the last two.
Yeah, because he's playing a different facet. He's playing with the hotspot facet, wants to keep the distance, wants to have that extra bit of damage as well. So 3 Phoenix games, 3 different item builds, 2 different facets. He only has 2 facets, unfortunately, not like some heroes. But yeah, you can see him knowing how the hero works and how to build him in different situations.
BZM stopping that TP just a little bit late on making that rotation to try and catch V-Tune out of position. BZM, like you said, is going Guardian Greaves. It's the standard build, but what are we seeing from BZM? What's after the Guardian Greaves?
I mean, you still want to get Yashikaya, you want to get Blink Dagger, BKB. They have no BKB piercing tools as well, so once you like jump in, there's nothing that can stop you from getting the Requiem. Lockdown is very limited. It is Sven Stun, it is Bushwhack from Hoodwink. That's about it. But they're 5-man strong. Auras like grouping up together is gonna feel really nice. Again, it's just that they didn't get the start, or similar start that they did get in that second game.
No, they did not get 2 double kills in the top lane.
He got the first blood though. Mira, he's smoked. He's trying to make something happen. Potentially kill Shadowfin one more time. Again, focusing heavily onto BZM. Mikoto does have double jump available.
Blocking this camp from being stacked, getting these Ancients to no longer be stacked up. And he also blocks that big camp right there, so that's nice for him. And he'll Vendetta. Now he'll try to find something. Maybe he can find 33 with a little bit of health. He's going to know exactly where he's at and stick on to him. Doesn't have the damage himself. But if there's a +1 that can walk on over, it's going to be tough. They've got the Watcher, they have these towers, and it's not the easiest kills to get. But sticking on him, just trying to keep that vision, and misses that stun. But hotspot Sunray, and that's going to be potentially a kill on a 33. The Doom is thrown out. Supernova's there, they get the kill. Bushwhack Sharpshooter, that's a dead Mira, but they do take 33's life. And Kaori getting yet another kill. Will Icarus dive and TP away?
Trying to delay these auras as much as possible.
He's in trouble. Frog Stomp only hits once, but Makoto's still here. The catchy lick doesn't land the 8th Remnant. The lick and the Remnant don't go together the way they wanted, but it's not going to matter. Makoto's got himself on a killing spree. Way better game for WS.
Oh, absolutely. He was really struggling. Didn't have enough mana to cast his spells. And his Tranquils got cancelled, so he's stuck with Tranquils. We are seeing that quite often. It's not as easy as people think, even though these are professional esports athletes that we're seeing in action, getting paid money to play video games. Still happens.
Much to their parents' dismay.
Yeah.
They still don't believe them, even when the checks come in. Bushwhack lands, and there's an impale on a 2. Mira does a good job of stopping these heroes from coming forward and committing, at least to start. But they throw that Storm Hammer, they've got the Sharpshooter. The damage is not going to be enough to get the kill on Mira, who's got that Vendetta going. Desolator picked up by the Templar Assassin. They've got the Echo Saber on the Sven, but are these heroes going to commit from Tundra? They still have the Vendetta going, and that with the Impale, well, they get yet another kill. BZM's caught kind of forward, and BZM now needs to kind of retreat a little bit into the hands of White Money. Picks up the Guardian Greaves and now has that Invis rune, but there is a sentry down. He'll look for the Requiem, stops that off, but Kodo kind of giving away the fact that they've got that vision there, but doesn't waste the Requiem, and will back away from Makoto, who's the only one forward from Aurora at this point.
The lack of control is definitely showing on Tundra, where they can't really kill a hero, and then Nyx Assassin being very annoying. Even with 1 point in Carapace, with his Scuttle Facet, he gains haste. Impossible, almost impossible to catch.
Good bushwhack on a 2, but still not really having the follow-up they need necessary initially to get any of these kills. They wanted Makoto. He already dissimulated. Icarus dive away. Impale lands on a 33. Another repeat of this chase and just not enough catch to kill anybody.
What did I say? Between 10 and 15 minutes, we might be seeing these fights where nobody dies. Yeah, it's funny because there's not enough control. On one side, you do have Nyx Assassin, you have Void Spirit, but also he doesn't want to overcommit. He doesn't want to be like going in with the double jump and then not having a way out.
Tough to get the... I mean, even with a 2-man bushwhack, it's just not nearly enough to get these kills. Boots of Bearing faster than the average. 7 minutes faster than the average. There's the Smoke Vendetta combo. Try to catch somebody.
Dire are scanning.
They've got Makoto ready for the jump. This is the combination I alluded to earlier
Dire's middle tower
when we were talking about what they can do to get to these heroes that are deep on the map. They've got the scan, so they know exactly where Parker is, and they'll have the Icarus dive, the Sunray, and there's the Impale. This is a very dead Sven. And these rotations just are not quick enough. They're going to try to TP BZM over, but by the time he's there, they're already dead on Sven, and this is the kind of movements that I'm kind of expecting Aurora to make. And on top of which, now kind of delaying the Aether Lens, it's going to be Phoenix picking up the Shard instead.
Yeah, it's a lot of heal. Like, you rarely see this one in action because other one just feels better in most of the situations. But if you can keep the distance, even though he is playing against the Doom, the extra healing is still gonna come in handy onto everything that is not doomed, and also extra bit of damage. So definitely we should keep an eye on Phoenix's damage in general, like how he's doing because of this Sunray.
Spike Carapace, now Whitemon in trouble. Makoto made the TP on the jump. They look for the Requiem, but a Supernova to avoid it. Mira's the one who ends up dead. BZM gets that kill. Supernova's going to go off, but it's not going to stun up anybody. Ends up being a 1-for-1. A lot of heroes here for the side of Aurora. All 4 that are still alive are in the vicinity. And WS, well, he's got this Ag, so he's double strumming. But not going to commit up to the high ground and look for a fight just yet. I was looking over at what Mira's got queued up, and it's a Blink Dagger. Is that the item you really would want in a situation like this? He's already looking forward with the Vendetta. They've got the double jump. They have a little bit of lockdown that way. Is him getting the Blink Dagger the first item that you'd really be wanting?
I think what he wants to do is to have extra maneuverability. Let's say Sven jumps in pre-BKB, he can just stun him easily with Carapace. He can also like be very annoying against the Shadow Fiend when he's using the Requiem. And also we saw the win probability, 75% for Aurora compared to 25 on Tundra.
It's a lot. High percentages here. They're going to try and commit for the Tier 1 tower. TA is top. They're actually TPing Ari up towards top. Radiant do scan, and I believe that landed. But they'll look for 33. The Impale comes through, and this is a very troublesome 33 position because he's going to die first. Frog Stomp, BZM, and he is looking next on the list. V2's going to have the damage to get the kill. He was able to TP over to mid, so this Templar Assassin being able to make that move from top to mid means they get 3 kills for their troubles.
They get
and
a tower
Tier 1.
and they get Roche probably. V2 immediately going into it. They do see them. They do have Sentry and Obs. Void Spirit did pick up his shard, so he can be the one dewarding. His farm is also going to increase. You drop that Remnant inside of the camp. It's going to kill the camp over time. Problem is you're not picking up Mad Stones, but it is what it is. You can pick them up later. They definitely need Sven. Their damage is pretty limited. Chen, Hoodwink, it's not like the most damage. Shadowfiend also needs a little bit more setup. Doom, we haven't seen him use Doom other than once, I believe. So he continues to farm up. He is going for the same build as he did in the second game.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Looking
under
at
attack.
Sven, and you know, they talked about it on the panel, this 1-to-1 matchup against him and the TA.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's really not good, and now they're falling further behind. Is there an audible you can make here that helps you with this? I know you had said earlier in the game it's more maybe about taking out everybody around the TA, but is that still viable in a situation like this? And Whitemon now might be the one who's caught. That doesn't end up being BZM. They get the kill out of this Chen. There was a sharpshooter thrown out, but there's just no follow-up from Tundra.
Whiteman has been silent, very silent on this Chen. Usually, like, I would say that he is one of the best Chen players out there. And there it is, the combo.
That's a way to get a kill.
Healing, no spells, which means that Parker can get the damage in. And he's getting actually very close to his BKB. Can disassemble his Echo Saber by recipe in the next minute. Probably not gonna do it. He just wants to continue to farm up. Because he already used the ulti, means that they're not gonna be taking the fight. Still in an okay spot. Like once the auras are online, 33 Hand of Midas now delivered, so he's gonna need a couple of extra minutes to go for his next item. Probably again gonna be Pipe, considering the amount of magical damage they do have. This Sunray is shredding them apart. Nyx Assassin as well, Void Spirit. It's all about that magical damage.
Gonna be tough to deal with, but 33 is gonna try and farm it up, get there.
And he also has Greedy. This is the greediest you can get.
Radiant's middle tower.
Greedy, Hand of Midas, and Gluttony. So you have 2 charges on Devour.
Radiant's courier.
Like 4 different things that you can get the gold from. This is how Tundra has been playing. If you remember back in the days when they were playing like Bounty Hunters, getting the gold. A lot of Alchemists getting these Hand of Midases as well. Making sure that there are stacks, of course, creating gold out of nothing.
Trying to get the gold back to even, and they've done so. And this was a 3K lead for Aurora at one point, and now kind of shrinking down pretty quickly. That includes the fact that VTune just got themselves the shard off the Tormentor, which went to WS, so he's got that Encore, something that he can use a little bit later on. If you look at what he's got queued up, he's got that Linken's queued up later in the game. That's equivalent to 2 Linken's.
Pretty much. It's very good against Doom. It's very good against Sven getting that initial jump, even though there is a way around it if you're stunning someone who's standing close to him. Doom, this time around, 33, changing the item build, picking up a Blink Dagger. He wants to be the one who can actually position himself and get that Doom. One shot on Mira gone.
But do they have anything more than jump in the Astral Step? They'll look for VTune for a second. BZM's in some trouble. VTune even going into the back line. He's got this Aegis. He doesn't have to be too scared. So now Supernova with the Sunray. Whitemon on the run, but the tier 2 tower is not safety. VTune with a double kill, and now Parker sticking nearby. So is Ari, but they get behind the gate and they get to safety.
You could see Parker thinking about potentially jumping in, but then he sees, oh, it's a Templar Assassin, and it's a Templar Assassin with Aegis, so he can't really get that jump with the Refraction. It's like 6 instances, so it's impossible for him to come in and deal the damage, but they're still gonna be looking for something, knowing that there is no egg.
Smoke broke in, Makoto. The Doom is on him, and he is dead to rights, it seems. They get the kill on the Void Spirit. Mira trying to do all they can to help, but Kaori doesn't have that Supernova. He's on the run. The Stormhammer connects, but WS is there with Catch. You lick the Bushwhack onto 2, the Sharpshooter, but the BKB as well as the Blink game from Parker to try to get these kills. Now he'll look over at Mira. The Sharpshooter goes off, but it doesn't land on anybody. VTune gets Ari, and now they're going to chase for more. WS with a good amount of mana left to go for this chase, and now there's the Meld Strike, the kill on a Parker. They look over at Whitemon, and VTune starting to rip him apart. The Blink, the Impale, and another kill here for this Templar Assassin. Mira with that Blink Dagger catching up to the Chen.
Tundra, they don't have the answer for this Templar Assassin. Even without Aegis, it was a good move, and then overextending a little bit. He lands a 2-man Bushwhack, puts everybody in a position where kind of forces them to go, because if he misses, I think they would be okay, and then they are going to be able to reset. The VTune comes in. Man, VTune's performances have been looking very, very solid, I gotta say.
I almost want to give him a mulligan in the last game too, right? Like, there's just no way to do anything in that last one. Medusa against Anti-Mage, the way that game started, that was... Erase that from your memory. VTunes had a very good tournament despite the record and what they're at and, you know, where they're... It's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect, but he has been playing close to it.
Yeah, he has very low amount of deaths in his games as well, like that Shadow Fiend game that we talked about earlier that he
Only
played
had
yesterday. 2 deaths.
Yeah.
Didn't die for like good 35 minutes, 33, in a lot of trouble.
Caught again, Supernova committed. Bushwhack Sharpshooter. Using that Spike Carapace. Parker, does he want to commit? God Strength was used, no BKB for 2, so he doesn't even go in on this. Maybe they look elsewhere, but who can you really go for? WS is not an easy kill. VTunes is impossible at this point in the game. So you just don't really have many options as the Sven. Yeah, when he's gone in and fought, he's gone for Mira, he's gone for Kaori, but if you don't immediately kill Kaori and he's got the Supernova, he just goes into that, and maybe there's a turnaround that you're just not really ready for.
It's very difficult because we see the damage dealt overall by heroes. I feel like Phoenix's damage is going to be super high with this Sunray facet, with the items that he did go for. And he's also not afraid to use it. Like, he's not afraid to go inside of the fight and just drop that egg.
Bushwhack. BZM, the raise is the kill. Mira's gone, but this may not be worth it. All are healed, but all are not healed enough. Whitemon's going to be killed by VTune. He's wicked sick. They got WS with the credit on the BZM, and a 2-for-1 for a Nyx Assassin just does not equal out.
Every single time they engage, Chen just dies. And it seems like there has been a talk between Whitemon and 33, who wants to be buying what? Seems like he wants to be going for more of a scaling build, and it's going to be Chen picking up the pipe instead. And we can see the damage. Actually has the highest damage in the game right now on that Phoenix.
BKB, but look at the damage, and he will TP out. But you can see it getting a little bit risky. Ari trying to get through the trees. Astral Step, they're keeping the vision of the Sharpshooter onto the low ground. Catchy Lick, WS gets the kill. Ari gonna fry there, and it's cooked squirrel for dinner so far. VTune, he is really having a game, top of the net worth. Jump in. Do MOUZ, WS caught alone, and that's another kill here for Tundra. This is exactly what they need to do. If they can find these heroes out and have this combination, use this Doom off cooldown,
yep.
I like what they've got going. But in these 5-on-5 engagements, it's still so tough.
It's really difficult. If they're fighting as a unit, if they're fighting around the egg, if this Templar Assassin is dealing the damage, they're not going to feel too comfortable. There's a chance that they also kill Templar Assassin with the Doom, with the Sven stun, try to lock her down, because, again, their lockdown is extremely limited, so it needs to be them. I don't know if Shadow Fiend, he's getting close to his Blink Dagger, so that's going to help out if they can maybe pull off a bit of a different combo now with the BCM, with the Sven stun, so they can actually blow her up. BKB, Mira again on the hunt.
Looking for BZM. The rest of the team isn't here, though. It is just Mira that's going to be trying to get this kill. They picked up a gem for Aurora. That was picked up by Kaori, who's got a massive amount of farm. And then, you know, that's not including the fact that he was given a shard or anything like that, as we see BZM get killed by VTune with the combo of Mira, and Makoto with a little bit of a addition there to actually get credit for that one. But this is Kaori, who bought his own shard, who's buying his own, you know, he wasn't like a Tormentor give. So his net worth is this high. It was not inflated by anything that he was given for free, and this is something that we've seen Kaori do in all 3 games.
Exactly, like, and different itemization, as we said earlier, going for Prime Crimson game number 1, game 2 Holy Locket to give some extra mana to Medusa. Didn't work out because everything fell apart relatively quickly. In this 3rd game, he's completely owning. Involved in 18 out of 24 kill, having the highest damage in the team.
He's really doing a lot. Kaori going to continue to roll here, and they'll get this Aegis for the Templar Assassin. Radavetos thrown down on the Makoto. Keeping himself safe with the Aether Remnant. If anybody were to make the jump, potentially Parker, if he didn't use that BKB before he did make that jump. There's an OBS here that might be able to help out as Mira walks over, but he's getting all this information for his team to jump. Makoto comes in and now jumps down towards Ari. The Impale lands, and he's got some Croaker help. Ari ends up dead. The rest of the team has to bail immediately. They just cannot do anything to help out this Hoodwink.
We're still yet to see Tundra like fighting 5-man strong, because so far Aurora did a very good job splitting them up every single time, killing a hero before the fight starts. Most of the time it is Chen just dying straight away. So there's no heal, there's no divine favor, no extra armor. It is a lot of armor that you're missing on a relatively short cooldown. It is 20 armor, 14-second cooldown. And yeah, Whisper of the Dread with Key Knight, so even more cast range, which means more damage. Whisper of the Dread, of course, means more damage as well. It's gonna get ridiculous at one point. If they don't focus down this Phoenix, he's gonna own the fight.
I'm not sure how you do. You have to kill him before the Supernova, which they've shown they can do at times. But there will come a point where I don't think that's going to be allowed to happen. Maybe there's an Aeon disc in the future for Kaori if he feels it necessary. He doesn't want to get bursted by the Sven. Vendetta and the Impale. They'll get the kill on Ari, even on the high ground of his tier 3. God Strength gets popped, but Parker... well, he's going to have to park himself on the edge of this lane because he can't find a way to jump in. He'll avoid contact with this
If they see the glimpse of him not having God Strength,
they'll just go.
that they'll definitely... I mean, they're going to go anyway because they still have the Aegis. They have Banner, Parker right now. Didn't show in the bottom lane. I think he knows. He did not want to show that God Strength. So he went to the side, farmed the big camp instead. Cut the creep wave.
Dire's bottom tower is
Problem is they have this banner still going, so these creeps are going to make sure that they can get the tier 3 tower. Now they're away from the banner, but the banner being in a position where you can break the high ground, now they go for the set of racks, and there's no Parker here, there's no God Strength. Templar Assassin also picking up this shard, so maybe a trap gets a silence where they're going to be expecting to have some sort of initial impact, but they just don't because they end up being silenced and they can't make that move.
are under attack.
Ooh, Parker's been spotted by Mira.
He can easily start with Carapace as well if he's hitting... Oh!
Sentry, one shot, two shot, BKB, and now realizing it's time to go. There's that Aeon disc for Mira, so he's going to have that survivability off the God Strength, and with the Encore that the Shard is giving the Largo, he just picked up that Lincolns, and now you effectively have two Lincolns on your team.
Even though Nightfall is not here, he still lives with us within the spirits, within the BKB and TP combination. But yeah, that Lincolns that you mentioned, and also a second Lincolns coming out for Void Spirit, gonna be very difficult for them to start a fight with Sven having only one way. That's Blink Stormhammer, Doom as well. Does have Purge, so potentially that can purge off the Lincolns, but you said Encore.
Is there anybody else here? Vitoon shows up, Meld Strike, trying to kill off BZM. Now has the silence, and Mira with the blink forward gets the kill. So now no Shadow Feed, and that's going to be a Doom onto the Nyx Assassin. This just feels like it's going to be so much more free now that they've got no Doom. He tries to TP out, but Vitoon just does too much damage. Mira tried to die to Croakers. Couldn't effectively get that off, and Ari's dead too. 3 heroes gone. Mira does everything that they need to make sure that they can successfully take this fight. And with no Nyx, it doesn't really matter. You can still go up onto the high ground. You've got the building damage. You have the tools necessary to force yourself in.
And BZM is having a rough one. Unable to do much. They haven't... Like, the lack of lockdown is definitely showing. And Mikoto, again, with this Lincoln Sphere, he can do whatever he wants. Jumps in, provides the vision for the team.
He is in so much trouble.
Look at this sun ray, how long it is.
GG. That's it. They call it. They want out. Aurora take this series over Tundra 2-1. This is such a dominant game from them in game number 3. And it has been continued performances like that that have really impressed me. I mean, Vitoon, with the fact that he has kind of been away from the scene a little bit in terms of the tier 1 scene, he has really impressed me up to this point.
Yeah, this is definitely going to his resume, saying that I can carry the games. Like, I can be the guy that you can rely on.